fatphobic people out there, even in the queer community. I was a go-go dancer at a pride party, and the amount of money that I made versus the amount of money that the thin people made was not the same. Sometimes people don't even feel comfortable like putting the money in my underwear, but people are like really awkward with like, should I touch you? Should I? And I see them fully touching other people. So those are little reminders that people still have a lot of work to do.
I've never seen someone standing and sitting at the same time. Because if that isn't sending a signal that her diet should change, I don't know what does. But blaming everyone else for being fatphobic is wild. But I don't know which one I'm more impressed by, the stool or the buckle of her trousers.
If I'm in this grass, surely that's okay, right?
No, because your crowd won't be.
Well, I can't control the crowd, right?
Right, but we can control where you are. And
Okay.
that's
Can you?
right now blocking traffic, and that's the one thing you can't do.
All right, well, I'm not blocking traffic, so.
You're responsible for the crowd, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
I don't believe I am.
That's not how it works.
Well, I mean, it kind of is, right? Because this is a public university and I'm on public
Right.
property.
Let's be honest here, if it was a message they agreed with, they would have no problem in him being there. It's not him being there, it's what he's showing to everyone. They don't like that. If it was a sign saying, don't worry, to the LGBTQ community, even if you want to, I don't know, you've had a bad day, you want to identify as a flipping gift card or something, there you go. Trying to make those people feel better.
So a mother can abort her baby if she doesn't want the responsibility, but a father will go to prison if he doesn't want the responsibility. Interesting.
Gotcha.
My take is that there's a certain point in which even if you accidentally misgender me, it is still intentional. Because the fact that you as a cis person have not done the work to deconstruct how you are viewing trans bodies shows where your true intentions lie, and they are not in the favor of trans folk.
So it's our fault we don't engage in something we don't believe in, because I don't believe in it, and a lot of you guys don't. And aren't these people hypocrites? Because calling us cis people, cis man, cis woman, they could be misgendering us, because personally, I'm a black woman. So this person misgendered me, and I'm triggered about it. I'm very upset.
Stop that shit, bro. Stop, bro.
Keep recording it, mate. That's evidence.
That's what you do.
You're a demon.
A lot of people are saying, why did he record it in the comments? What do you mean? It's women like this that will create stories, fabricate stories, and run to the hills of it and ruin this guy's life. This is the best thing he did, is recording it, because that's all evidence right there. Because if it goes against word, they're probably going to listen to her and not him.
If my partner slept with someone else and told me about it, I would still be in a relationship with them. Move. Really? Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that.
We're polyamorous.
So we date lots of people and know all our partners.
You know all your partners?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like her partners?
I do, yeah.
Do you like his partners?
Yeah.
What would you do if you didn't like one of his partners?
I feel like it depends what makes me not like them.
Are you straight?
No.
Well, okay. Well, that changes the question. But like, let's say she was just a bad person and mean to him.
I would probably talk to him about it. Be like, this doesn't seem good.
And what if you didn't like one of her partners in particular? Would you tell her?
My personal philosophy on that is I try to respect all my partners to make their own decisions, and as long as I trust my partners to know what's best for them. So
Stop it. Get some help.
I don't know what happened to these two, but these people are confused and lost. How can they say they're in a relationship? They're both sleeping with multiple people, and they're going out to town together holding hands, acting like a happy couple, when they're going home and getting batteried by other people. Polyamorous, platypus, whatever you call those relationships, right? Why do they always look weird? They never look normal, do they?
If a man says to you that a woman is crazy or difficult, ask him, what bad thing did you do to her?
I always question a man who says, oh, I have a crazy ex, or, oh, yo, she's just crazy. No, sweetie, my question is, what did you do to make her crazy?
Yet again, it's the man's fault, as always. And guys, you have to let me know if you've seen this as well. I've definitely noticed this when I was dating back in the day. A lot of girls, when you talk about previous relationships, they always say They were a victim of that man. He was crazy, he was this, he was horrible to her, he was a scumbag. They never say, I was the wrongdoing, he was a good guy, you know, I made the mistake, I was crazy, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. They're always the victim.
You don't find that suspicious?
What are you doing?
I'm good. Go
Please
ahead.
don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
I apologize for touching you, but please feel free to leave.
Go ahead.
What's my name?
I said you can go.
Did you just assume my pronouns?
I'm not going to argue with you. I didn't say a
I'm
pronoun.
very disrespected that you just assume my pronouns.
Asked you to please leave my volunteers
Can
alone.
you please call me they, them?
Please leave my volunteers alone.
Stop calling me a he.
Please leave my volunteers alone.
Just
Please leave
say,
my volunteers alone.
just say they, them. Please leave me alone.
Leave my volunteers alone.
I don't really mind talking.
No, it's not okay.
I'm just asking questions.
I understand. You can ask questions.
And they're in a
People
public
who
place.
actually want to talk to you.
Okay. Do you want to talk?
No, please leave.
Well, I currently have a 0%. You just interrupted my interview. I'm a little upset about it. And you assume my pronouns. All right, let's keep going. She's a little bit of a Karen. But I don't want my cover to get blown too soon, so.
To be fair, one of those protesters even said, I don't mind talking to him until Prestige 10 Karen over here, just because she doesn't agree with him, is telling him to leave a public place. If he was doing the exact same thing, talking against, you know, everyone else, she would be cool with that. And as a fellow black woman myself, and my pronouns is LGTB, I find it offensive that they misgendered him and didn't use his correct pronouns. And also, we are so close to 200,000 subscribers. If you want to see more videos like this covering plenty more donuts and Muppets, do consider subscribing, click the notification bell, so when I drop a new video, you'll be notified.
This is what we're not going to do. The cis people have been getting what they want for forever. If you want to call chest feeding breastfeeding, I don't give two shits. But on my platform, where I want to make people from the alphabet mafia more comfortable because I am a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I'm going to continue to say chest feeding. We live in a society where the word breast has been over-sexualized by the men, by the cis men. So for a lot of us, chest feeding just feels less sexualized. But again, there are those who are non-binary
Breastfeeding is
and
for
those
kids
who go by other pronouns who feel more comfortable with the word chest feeding. I don't give two shits. I don't give two shits. Not one fucking shit. None. I don't give no fucks, no shits about cis women being offended by chest feeding. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't care.
Of course she's got the orange hair. She's, you know, they all look the same. I say that a million times a video, I know, but they all have that certain look. Why are we talking about things being sexualized when those things are only for children? That's what children do with their mothers. Breastfeeding comes from a breast. Why are we changing that thing because of... Oh man, that just sounds suspicious to me.
Everything okay? No. Are you mad? You okay?
No, he's not mad. No, he is.
You're mad?
Yeah.
That's okay. You know what the cool thing about it in America is? Free speech isn't the speech you like. Nice stuff's not what needs to be protected. It's the stuff that you hate that needs protection, so that somebody like the government or you doesn't get to decide what everybody else gets to hear. Okay? And you're more than welcome to disagree and write an act and get on stage and sell out like I just did. You know? But
This is the thing, a lot of people are just taught to be offended, because back in the day, and you guys can probably say the same, group of lads, some of the things we used to say and joke about, we would get prison time for it now. Even if you said anything close to that, yeah, it'd be an outrage. And people that claim that everything is offensive, it's not necessarily offensive what they're saying, it's just they find it offensive, them themselves. And if you really think you're going to walk through life, you know, without hearing anything you don't disagree with, then you must have next level entitlement like this donut in the crowd.
Got gender reaffirming surgery. Here's a
honest update. Do I regret it? Short answer is yes. Don't get me wrong, I got it done twice. It looks Barbie. Why do I regret it? Well, because I will never be able to live a normal life. After the surgery, you have to start dilating to keep the space they gave you. You start from doing it 4 times a day to once a week for the rest of your life. I was fine with that. See, the problem is I had major complications, and now for some reason I need to do it every single day. Now, obviously I've had relations, and girls, we all know guys don't know what to do. So it's not really worth it to me. The problem is I cannot stop. If I stop, it's gonna close up and create a bubble, and that bubble could literally create an infection that could... The 2 options here are I dilate for the rest of my life, or I get it removed surgically. Surgery goes for $70,000, and I don't want to go through that again, so I guess I'm dilating.
This stuff needs to be, you know, put out there more to put people off, because how they're allowing kids to get this stuff is absolutely absurd. And I can't believe there's people out there that vouch that kids can say to their parents, yeah, you know, I want to get this and that done, and parents should allow that. What is the world coming to?
You know, I see myself as to be a very minimalist, environmentalist person, so I like my jewelry to be organic and have a purpose. So, I mean, what? I need to stir my tea? You know, I see myself as to be a
few years ago, these people would be classified as flipping insane. But this is the norm in 2025.
For work today, and my father said, "Are they gonna let you wear that lamb hat? Really? Are they gonna let you wear that?" "I work at a smoke shop, sir." Why can somebody talk? Is this cute?
No.
Do I look stupid?
Do I look stupid?
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Liberal women can reportedly spend thousands of dollars to have a screaming session where they bash sticks in the ground to deal with their emotions. Wow. This ain't real. Why don't you just go out to the forest yourself and just bash sticks on the ground? This reminds me of a guy who was a personal trainer for a long time. He said that this is why in the gym you'll have men training on their own for years and they can get a lot done. And you see a lot of the classes, it's groups of women. They need to do these things together. They need to motivate each other to do these things. Like, they need to be in groups. Looks like they apply that same logic to doing stupid shit like this.
I don't really believe in gender. Like, I think the idea of a man is it's a social construct. So I don't think we need the social construct of manhood at all. People use it to categorize society, and like we like to put things in boxes because it's easy for us to understand the world if we can put it in categories. But I don't think we need that, and I actually think that if we get rid of that, we can understand each other as human beings a little bit more. I'm non-binary, and I have gone about the world being like, it's 1 and 2, and it's this category or the other one, and neither of them have ever really felt good to me. And I have actually had a hard time, like, I've seen interviews like this that's like, what is a woman, and nobody can come up with an idea. I don't have a definition either, so I just don't think it's something that we need. I've never had a comfortable experience in either one, and I've never been able to really relate to one side of it or the other, so I've never needed it.
Just because you're confused as an individual, I don't mean that in a horrible way, I really don't. I wish all these people would find happiness, because they're all lost. You know, I don't wish anything bad upon these people. I wish they would have peace and fulfillment in their life, because they're very confused and lost. That's what they are, and it's all a load of nonsense.
I don't know if you are aware of this, but everyone has a prostate. Literally everyone. But again, this is part of that biology you would have learned if you had stuck with it past middle school.
We didn't even need to hear what she was going to say. When you look at the hair color, you already know they're going to say a load of bullshit.
If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. When you're born a girl baby, you grow up to be a bigger girl and then a woman. Only girls can grow up to be the mummies. Only boys can grow.
They talk about the sea levels are rising. This has got to be contributing to that. Because that ain't my Little Mermaid. That's just one big mermaid.
Hey guys, I wanted to show y'all my outfit. I'm going out tonight for my birthday. My top is from Amazon. Cuffs and fishnets are from Amazon. This little clutch is from Shein, along with my skirt. Leg warmers are not keeping me warm, but they're from Amazon. And then I have pneumonia shoes, and that's it. I am about to catch pneumonia, so I will see y'all later.
This is the thing. Why are we normalizing and saying that this is okay? She's got 3 knees on her left leg. Like, there is nothing appealing about that. And again, I don't mean nothing bad by these people, but sort your diet out, go to the gym, become healthier, because it's all great. We can all say, yeah, being overweight is great, which it isn't, because it is unhealthy. That's a fact, that's not an opinion. The inevitable is going to happen if we keep normalizing this and saying it's fine, which it isn't. I don't know why this girl's convincing anyone, because, man, and this is what I say, she probably still gets more attention from guys than good-looking guys do from women. That's crazy.
Is the gender pay gap real?
Yes, men statistically get paid more than women, even in the same position of power.
Do you work like a job at the moment?
No, I don't.
Okay, got it. If the gender pay gap exists, women are paid less for the same job, why wouldn't firms just hire only women?
Men, especially men in power, think that women below them can't do the job as well. So that's one of the reasons they do get paid less, and they just think men do the job better. So that's why they end up hiring men, even though they do pay the women less.
If women can do the job just as well, then why would they not just hire women? They can just pay them less for the same job.
Because they don't. They want men to fill those roles because they want the men to go up in power and get better at the job they're working at.
It's still funny to me that people are still talking about the gender pay gap, and we haven't even got to break it down. I mean, it really isn't rocket science to figure out why men statistically get more money. They're not taking into consideration the hours worked, all those things. And there's nothing stopping women working those jobs. They just don't want to do them. It's simple as that. Think about it. If a job offered you $1,000 a day, right? Guys would be thinking, man, I could make $5,000 Monday to Friday. But there's a lot of women who'd be like, oh, I could just work a couple days a week then. Mentalities are different in men and women for work. And I'm not saying all women think like that, but generally speaking.
You provide a definition for the word woman.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
What?
I can't.
Why?
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm
your
not a biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address
You can't judge what a woman
if
is.
there's a dispute about a definition. People make arguments, and I look at the law and I decide. So I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
This woman who can't even explain what a woman is a judge. We are cooked.
For some reason, you can't use neopronouns to refer to me. And you need a word that you already know how it fits into
What? Wait, what? Neo-pronouns? What the hell was that? That's a new one.
the English language. You may refer to me as it, its.
It's,
They, them makes me super dysphoric. It, its is cool. Non-noun neopronouns are still my preferred, especially the ones that keep the E sound, like E or Z or V. But if you need a pronoun like while you're learning those, or if for some reason neopronouns are inaccessible to you, then it, its. Of course, if you're not using my pronouns just because you don't want to or you think they're invalid.
Well, I actually identify as someone who identifies other people, so this guy's got to respect that. And he's saying it's no, his pronouns are dipshit.
Students are learning quantum physics, and we've got our students learning how to twerk from drag queens. It's not going to end well. This is grooming. This is ideological mind control. If you're using this to a group of individuals, especially to young kids who have no business learning any of this sexually explicit material, this is not about being anti-gay. This is about keeping this out of the classroom because it does not belong there.
There are people who can look at this photo right here, and if we say that this is wrong, we are the problem. That's how messed up the world is. People look at this photo. There's a lot of people in the world who will look at this photo and go, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. If you think that this photo is okay, you need your hard drive checked. ASAP Rocky.
You are fetus phobic because what you're saying is a human fetus in the womb doesn't have the same rights as someone.
What gender is a fetus? What sexuality is a fetus? What religion is
Well,
a fetus?
a fetus can be male or female, and that's determined when egg and sperm unite and that DNA code is created.
Saying that I do not think that we should be supporting something that is not born more than people that are already out here in the world does not make me fetus phobic.
You're phobic of fetuses. You're labeling a whole class of human beings as less than you, and you're judging them, and you're saying because you are born, you have the right to end the life of another human being.
Are you arguing that I am ageist or fetus phobic? Because there is a complete difference. It would be okay for you to say that I'm ageist because I have something against babies, but there is no such thing as being fetus phobic. I have never once heard that, not even in any of the research.
I know, I just made it up tonight. It's really great.
I mean, look, she's got the upside down cross as an earring, and she's wearing a mask, and she's got all the red flags, and of course she's going to say the things she's going. All those things detected, opinion rejected.
Transgender cop car.
Wow.
Look at that. Are you guys cops or you just identify as cops?
I don't know if this is real or not. Surely it isn't, but even if it is, I'm not actually that surprised.
I pride myself on being a teacher who's very open about her life. And one of the things I'm very open about is my sexuality. I have a trans flag, a bi flag, and on.
Every time I see these videos, and I knew it straight away, as soon as I heard I'm a teacher and I'm very open, you already know they're going to start talking about weird stuff and adult stuff to do with kids. Every single time. As a teacher, why are you talking about your sexuality and what you do behind closed doors to kids? I used to be a personal trainer and a boxing coach full time. I used to work with kids, adults, people with disabilities, war veterans, everything. And I never once talked about my sexuality and what I do behind closed doors and my relationship. That's just weird. That is weird. It's weird to talk about it to other adults you don't really know, let alone kids, and your responsibility is to teach them. Focus on that, mate.
Binary flag all on my desk at my work. But there's one thing I'm not open about, and it's being poly. And today that actually became something I had to worry about for the first time. See, the kids are interviewing us teachers as a part of learning how to write profiles on others. They'll soon be doing it with each other, but they're starting with the teachers so they can all work together on one subject. And one of the kids on Tuesday is going to ask me if I have a partner. And the answer is yeah. And I have another one too. And I don't know how to handle that conversation because
just
while I know that the
mate.
kids are more accepting of things like homosexuality, bisexuality, all of that, polyamory is not in the conversation. It's not something that is talked about. And I worry not only would this be something that might lead to rumors that I am cheating on my partner or that I am a swinger or something like that, but would also just totally derail the class. So the obvious answer, the one that I went to first, is I'm not going to talk about it. But that feels wrong too. I don't like lying to my students. I don't like telling them falsehoods. And also, I don't feel comfortable answering the question by saying, yes, I have a partner, and having to pick which one I pick as the face for my relationship. That feels super, super gross, right? So I guess what tentatively I've decided after talking with my co-teachers and my...
Why don't you just say it's private, mate? Why are all these people so obsessed with sharing their stuff with kids, man? We see this every time. I already knew in the first few seconds. You heard me say, here we go. Because I already knew. Anytime you see someone who looks like this, because they all look the same, they say they're a teacher, and then they start talking about how they're open, you already know they're going to say some weird, suspicious stuff.
Assistant principal is maybe the right way to do it is answer the question honestly. Say, while I don't feel comfortable talking about who I'm in a relationship with in this specific setting, I will say that I am bisexual. I've dated people of many different genders. And if you're interested to talk about that or my own specific relationship,
yeah, talk to your parents, or just let the parents dictate what. Man. Teachers need to be teachers, and teachers need to let parents be parents. They shouldn't be having these conversations. You know, when I used to go in the shop with my mum when she'd be shopping, I remember pulling me and my brother would always run to the magazine section to get the video game one, look at the latest games coming out. That's what we used to do. And then we'd see, like, you know, the model magazines, and we'd be like, what's going on? You know, when you're a kid, you're like, what's going on? And it's appealing. When you're a young boy, you're like, you've never seen that before. And then I used to take the magazine to my mum, and I'd be like, Mum, what's this? And she'd be like, put that away. And then she'd be like, that's a discussion for another time. And then as I got older and I was, you know, taking an interest in girls and whatnot, she would talk to me about those things. And yeah, it's a bit weird at the time, but all parents do it, don't they? But teachers are trying to do that with kids now. It's just, I don't know, man. Let parents do what parents have got to do.
really, really insistent, let's just not do it in the classroom setting, and we can do it like in lunch or in the after school GSA club or something like that, where maybe it's a little bit more of an acceptable and understanding situation to bring this up. Now, this is a long rambling thing, and that story has kind of wrapped itself up neatly, or at least it will on Tuesday. But I think it talks to a much broader issue, which is that, like, this is a really nuanced thought process I had to have, where I had to consider the emotional maturity of the kids, where I had to consider what they already know and are talking about and what they don't know and aren't talking about, and also have to consider how does this fit in with the content that I'm teaching. And the fact of the matter is, this is not a conversation that conservatives are having at all. They've decided that blanket statement, like, you can't do this at all. There's no place for it.
Yeah, there isn't. You should be teaching. You're there to teach an education, not talking about your delusional views on relationships. And you said, this woman said that she's talking about multiple genders. Well, she's wrong straight away. You don't do that. You're there, you're paid to give those kids an education. Those parents leave the kids at the school trusting those teachers to do that. And she's not doing that. She ain't. She's trying to teach them, A, things that are delusional, and B, she's trying to do the parents' job. And like I said, when I was showing interest in girls and things like that, my mum always told me, like, be careful with this, be careful of that. You know, she always gave me some insight in that, but that's what parents do. Teachers never did that. Other people never did that. That's a parent's job. Man.
That just shows such a lack of thought and care. They're not understanding their children as people and where they're at. They're not understanding the content that is necessary, and they're not reckoning with any kind of reality. Yeah, maybe like this is going to be an uncomfortable situation that may lead to some strange conversations, but that's part of being a person. And I'd rather have the kids be able to have those conversations in a safe place at school than on the internet where there's no one to make sure they're learning the right, respectful information.
There are so many other important things you can teach those kids, and doing this isn't one of them. Things like this, I know I've said it a million times, should be had with the parents, if anyone. If it even is talked about, the only people that should is the parents, not these flipping donuts teachers. I don't even know how they flipping get these jobs in the first place. You know, and I haven't got kids yet, and I hope I do one day, and I'm gonna try and work hard so that I can either put them in a private school or have them homeschooled, to keep them clear of all this BS they be teaching at schools, man. Because you can't trust the teachers anymore.
You dropped out of college, and your highest...
Community college.
Sorry, your Harper College experience,
Yeah,
I apologize.
barely was smart enough to make it through community college.
Okay, so...
Barely made it through high school,
Your
too.
highest degree level
Same
is
here.
an honorary doctorate degree from Liberty University.
No, that's true. I do have an honorary PhD.
Yeah, so essentially, what are your qualifications for arguing that college is a scam, or really having any economical knowledge at all, when likely the vast majority of the students here know more than you about economics as a whole.
Okay, so no, hold on. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Who's Milton Friedman?
Who's Milton Friedman? I have no idea, and it's not important to this conversation.
Who is Ludwig von Mises?
These are all probably economists, and the same
Who
thing.
is John Maynard Keynes?
Okay, obviously I know who Keynes is.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
He's the most famous economist of all time.
You don't know Milton Friedman?
I mean, that's an economist.
Okay, how about Murray Rothbard?
That's another economist.
F.A. Hayek?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, no.
Well, then you just came here and insulted my intelligence. You're right, I barely made it through community college because I was too busy, starting a national youth movement with hundreds of thousands of members.
Hey, hold on, though.
Hold on. Employing hundreds of people, raising hundreds of millions of dollars.
I think this guy's walking into a debate. Don't think he's got the tools for the job.
Yes. Having a top 10 most popular podcast.
Sure.
And reaching tens of millions of people online every day.
Sure,
but hold on.
But you're also calling all of your constituents idiots by
I've
saying they
never said that,
participate in a
actually.
scam. Their
Hold on a
shirt's
second.
right there.
I'm
College
calling
is
the
a scam.
institution a scam.
So then
I never
why-
insulted
okay,
the
so then-
intelligence. I just had 10 people come up and we had warm conversations. So you asked, what are my qualifications? I'm a job creator, entrepreneur, autodidact. Do you know what that word means? Yeah, self-taught. You should probably learn that word if you're going to come up and insult other people's intelligence.
Hey.
So
This guy's getting
autodidacticism is what Leonardo da Vinci was. You don't have to go to college to be wise. You don't have to go to college to be intelligent. I read 100 books a year. I visit over 150 colleges.
I'm not saying you're unintelligent. I'm just saying you lack qualifications.
Well, are you a New York Times bestseller?
Don't you think it's a bit weird how people queue up to tell someone else, like they're queuing up to see someone which other people want to see, and then you're just going to say you're not qualified? People really take time out of their day to do that.
Of course not. I'm in college.
Got it. So I'm just trying. What are my qualifications? I have published books, read lots of books, dialogued with a lot of people, and instead of asking what my qualifications are, can you name one thing I've ever said that? Hold on. Name one thing I'm wrong about.
You literally just now incorrectly cited the difference between socialism and communism.
There's plenty of very, very successful people who barely got an education. So saying that people need to go to college, university, they need to get a degree to be successful in life is a load of nonsense. It really is.
While you yourself...
How so? What did I do?
How so? You claimed that Russia was socialist. Russia was never
Soviet
socialist.
Union was socialist.
No, it was a communist nation. There is a significant difference between the two.
Why did Lenin say that socialism is the gateway to communism, and he was self-described socialist in his private treatise and documents in the Russian Revolution?
Lenin was overtaken by Stalin.
Hold on a second. No, Lenin died, and then Stalin was his successor.
Yes.
But Lenin himself said, quote, that socialism is the introductory phase to communism. Did he not say that?
So then the vast majority of people, when they're referring to communist Russia, are referring to Stalin's rule over Russia. That was a communist rule that turned into a fascist rule later on.
Okay, so but what thinker was deified in Soviet Russia?
What thinker was deified?
Yes.
Marx.
Oh, and what book did Marx write?
Yes, he wrote Capital, and he also wrote the
Communist Manifesto. Who was his co-author?
Who was co-author?
Yeah, Engels. Good. I'm glad college is really
The people in the crowd are even trying to help him out.
paying off for you.
Hey.
So no, but it's okay. It's fine. He comes up here and insults my intelligence. What are your qualifications? Doesn't even know the co-author of the Communist Manifesto or Das Kapital. But no, let me just
does my lack of knowledge on that mean that I have no knowledge? Again, is that the same
thing? You came up here and
thing?
insulted me, and you came up here guns a-blazing, man. And let me just ask again, what did I say that was wrong? I said that under the generally agreed upon definition of communism and socialism, which are interchangeable terms, one is a more harsh degree of the other, is that the elimination of the family, the elimination of private property, and the deprivation of basic human rights such as right to speech, right to assembly, and right to worship. How is that not a good definition of communism or socialism?
That explains fascism better.
Well,
I'm trying to understand what this guy thought he was going to do when he came up and queued up and wanted to speak to Charlie. And he could have asked him anything. It doesn't have to be hostile. He just came up to him and said, trying to insult him in front of everyone, you're not qualified, and then proceeds to not answer any questions about education and things he should know when he's claiming that he's got an education. What a donut.
But in the Communist Manifesto, Marx said, quote, "We are here to destroy the nuclear family and eradicate the family because it was the original oppressive, tyrannical structure." He said religion is the opiate of the masses and that private property must be eradicated. I have just now documented all three of those with evidence back to original source documents. And then in practice, Russia did all those three things when they were the Soviet Union. So where am I wrong?
But then at the same time, if you claim that those are all negative things, then why do you practice certain things in the doctrines that you just stated?
Well, I'm not trying to take people's stuff away. I want people to have bigger families, and I want churches to remain open.
Yeah, but
and going back to what he said about private properties, there's a march, like a protest of people that believe that no one should have private property. Can you imagine a world where no one had private property? Everyone was just walking into people's houses, taking everyone's property. There's people out there who genuinely believe that.
The thing is
So
is
how
your
do I
main
practice?
no, but your biggest thing, your biggest point that everyone here is for is that you're a potential white supremacist. So,
whoa.
What evidence do you have that I'm a racist?
I was just literally watching a video of you talking about whiteness as a whole, talking about whiteness as a concept, okay? And you were trying to explain how white privilege doesn't exist.
Correct, it doesn't.
You are a white man. How do you know?
Because I have eyes.
Because you have eyes. That's
And
not
I
a
have
description.
reason. So what can a black person do that I can't do in America? Or
What can a
vice
black
versa?
person do?
What can
Yeah.
I do
So,
a black person can't do, I should
Let's
say.
think of some history right here. Let's go
No,
through
no,
the
no,
history
no,
of redlining.
I don't need a history. I don't need
Yes,
listen. No, you're talking about
you
white
do
privilege.
need a history lining. Clearly,
No,
you need a history.
Yeah, but he's calling him that as of now, like he is that now. And then you can't bring up stuff that happened a million years ago, mate. You can't do that.
I know your talking points better than you do, and I've read all the literature that you have. I've probably forgotten more about the literature.
History affects the present day as well, and you know that's true. If you went to college, you would know.
Well, hold on a second, but let me.
So then why are you wearing the college of the scam shirt? Drop out.
Well, because you could.
So it's because you don't believe your own beliefs, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, you can admit something's a scam and still get through it. That's why he's wearing it. Okay.
Then why?
You could feel like you're getting ripped off by an airline
But
and still
anyways,
want to get to
that's
New York.
not what we're talking
okay?
about anymore.
Like you're like, I'm getting ripped off by a $1,000 ticket, but you still get on the airplane. Like.
Yeah, there's a restaurant me and my missus go to, which the food is amazing. The food is just 10 out of 10. It's just so good. Yeah, you do get a bit ripped off. You do pay a little bit more, but it's what we go there like once a month or once every couple months, and you do pay a bit more, and we know that. We go there knowing that, but the food is just so good. You know, a lot of times we might even buy stuff we know, you know, we're paying a bit much, but we do it. We knowingly do it.
It doesn't make you a hypocrite. It means that the people are ripping you off, and a lot of you are getting ripped off. But no, so as far as white privilege, just without the history lesson of, you know, Jim Crow, segregation, imperialism, colonialism, slavery, all the stuff that I know that you're going to say, but
Yeah.
just in concrete.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I knew exactly what he was going to bring up when he talks about history and then labeling someone as someone who claims white privilege doesn't exist.
In America today, what can a white person do that a black person can't do?
Right.
Black applicants to jobs are 50% less likely to get jobs if they have a black sounding name.
That's not even close to being true. That's not even close to being true.
That is a literal.
In fact, it's the
yes,
opposite.
I'm not going to argue your lived experience. I'm not going to. No.
See, now.
I've got friends who are black, and they always say to me they're tired of people saying that they're oppressed and being held down when they're not. They literally say that. Why do these people keep claiming how they've lived their lives? And if anything, a lot of black people are annoyed of it.
You have to listen to him under your rules because a black person is going to say you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't say I'm wrong. I know.
Come on up to the mic.
I know. I read your.
My name's Keemon Dixon. I have a really black name. Please tell me how 50% of my internships have been denied when I've worked for Senator Mike Lee, Mayor Trent Sachs, Speaker Mike Schultz.
Hold on.
I worked for a Congressman, Burgess Owens. I've actually worked on his campaign. I've worked on the campaigns of John Huntsman Jr. Please tell me how my black experience and my black name has not given me shit. Go ahead.
So pretty much, I'll save you the time. He doesn't say anything and pretty much just walks away. When that guy came to the mic and said what he had to say, and he was completely right, and fair play to him. Fair play to him. He had nothing left to say after that. I mean, what an absolute donut.
like to disagree with you
All right,
about college as a scam.
Okay.
Just because there's 50% of people who you say don't need college to get a job, why would it be a scam? There's a social impact about college, on America. College is, good.
The majority of kids that go to college when they graduate have a lower view of America than when they entered. Do you think that's a troubling thing?
I think just changing your opinion doesn't really matter too much.
Do you think?
And I think employers, when they read a CV, an application form, I used to put stuff on there, which I've done. And I believe me, I came out of school with nothing but apart from fails. I think I passed like 1 or 2 things out of everything. Failed in college, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And getting jobs past that, employers ignored all that. All they care about is experience. In my opinion, most employers, they don't care what you did in school, whether you got an F or an A star, whatever. They just care about experience. That's it.
That college teaches responsibility and hard work and...
Sure.
Okay, well, I find that hard to believe. Why is it that employers are more and more not wanting to hire college graduates and they actually want to hire people that didn't go to college?
What employers?
You can name them out, man. Walmart just got rid of their, even in their corporate level, so you don't need to go to college. Koch Industries, one of the largest employers in the country, from Georgia Pacific Railroad to Dow Chemical. They said we no longer want kids that have gone to college because they end up causing problems because they're super entitled and they're like, oh, what are my pronouns? And they have all this like left-wing nonsense that they've been filled with.
Well, then you have engineers, doctors, lawyers, people that
Sure, we need that, but that's less than 20% of the people that go to college.
Yeah, but
college is an
it'd be wrong to say
institution.
college is a scam if 25% of people become great people. Lawyers, doctors, engineers.
And medical school is very different to college, mate.
Not what college currently is, though. Again, I'm happy to have you read the book. College is a scam. I wrote it. I can have a more wordy thing, which is the vast majority of people that go to college are receiving a scam for the money that they're borrowing. The vast majority.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with that. And a lot of people who go to college agree with that. They're paying absurd amounts for an education. And a lot of times that you're not really getting one at times. From what I've heard from people who've actually, been and gone there, people have messaged me a lot of times. It sounds bonkers, a lot of it.
Of course there's exceptions. You can make whatever you want with your life. I mean, you could... But, I mean, when you enter into an enterprise, you need to know that you are...
Most people that go to college make more money at the end.
How many of you guys have to take classes that are a waste of time that you wish you wouldn't have to take? Every single hand. You're being scammed against your will to take...
Exactly what I was going to say. There's a lot of people who feel like there's sometimes in that education they're paying for which they shouldn't even be getting.
Classes that make you go further into debt. Why can't you say, I don't want to take this class? Why are you... Why as a customer you can't say...
Can you do a differential equation?
You what?
Can you do a differential equation?
Can I do
Can you explain to me the anatomy of a human?
Like somewhat off the top of my head.
You know what psychology is.
Yes, I do know what psychology is.
Okay, can you explain it to me?
Do you want me to explain psychology?
Knowing the square root of numbers and all that quantum physics, mate, ain't going to pay your bills. A lot of these people, yeah, they might know that, but they can't afford to live. And they struggle to get work. So, I don't know.
Psychology?
Well, you can't explain it to the depths of a bachelor's degree or a PhD.
Well, hold
or
on a second. Time out. I've sat here with no notes, no phone, and debated people with PhDs,
because you study
masters.
this because it's your job.
Hold on. I didn't go to college, man. That's the point. Is you can do whatever you want without a college degree. You can listen to podcasts, read books. You don't need to go.
Gauss wasn't able to go to the University of Göttingen. That's literally the reason.
Yeah, you don't need to go to college to do the things you want to do necessarily. I know a guy who's a lone working mechanic. He has his own garage. He works by himself. Fixes everything top notch. For 40 years he's done it. And he never went to college. He dropped out of school early. He learned everything by reading books on how to fix cars and parts. And he learned everything he needed to learn from books. He didn't go to college, university, nothing. So he's a good example of that. And he's one of the best mechanics around.
Hear what you said. What'd you say?
You know Gauss, right? Mathematician.
Yes, vaguely, sure. Okay.
Vaguely?
Yes, vaguely, yeah.
Oh,
do you know who
okay.
Milton Friedman is? Do you know who Herbert Marcuse is? You know who Thomas Sowell is?
Do you use a phone?
Do you know who Gouverneur Morris is?
Well, that's because of gals.
No, you don't. So I could do gotcha too.
Like
so before you try to
going to university is the reason that
not
he was able to become so proficient in mathematics.
So here's
and
the
change
thing.
the world.
The majority of kids that go to college
people
are more depressed than when they enter.
PhD degree are able
Secondly,
to perform much better in their field than someone who doesn't.
Well, then, if that's the question, if that really is true, if college is this amazing accelerant, then why do so many people...
I wouldn't say it is accelerant, but if you're looking at a field of science...
Yeah, Charlie's right. This guy needs to get off his high horse and just... I mean, there are a lot of people who find good in college. I'm not saying that. But there's a lot of people there who aren't happy with the education they're literally paying absurd amounts for, and a lot of people are getting in debt because of it. If you're paying that much, you should be able to say what you're getting with your money, shouldn't you? At least in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would rather have it that way. No one should be paying over 100 grand for an education and sat there for hours doing classes they don't want to do. That shouldn't happen. But you guys have to let me know what you think about this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.